What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cigars and Coffee channel. This is gonna be my first official video. Just wanted to do a little snippet of fun facts of cigars and coffee, because it's my name. Thought it would be a couple good first intro videos. And like always, I'm gonna start off with showing you the coffee and the cigar of the day. Today, which I'm not smoking right now because I'm inside, because it's about 9 degrees out right now, unfortunately. But I will be bundling up and going out there later. I have a Camacho Blue Wrapper Ecuador. Very good cigar. I like this brand. Basically everything that they put out I've enjoyed. I haven't tried everything, but everything that I have is delicioso. And the coffee I already finished, but it was just a Colombian roast, my usual go-to. But so yeah. So now I just thought it would be cool to go over a couple facts and the history of this cigar. Now, the cigar really got popular around the 18th century. That's when the real boom came. That's when kind of manufacturing started. You know, they were still hand-rolled, but it was more of a assembly line process. You know, they had a bunch of people in the factory rolling the tobacco and whatnot. So that's when I guess cigars kind of really became mainstream. And that's also when the this Blue Wrapper, the band is what they call it, that's when that came to be as well. And that was to signify the brand of the cigar. But taking it back, which I didn't know really any of this before I started looking into it, so I thought it was pretty interesting. Cigars weren't really a thing until Columbus, actually. When he came over to the Americas, he seen the natives over here smoking a rolled substance, and he was really intrigued by that. And you know, he obviously inquired about it, and that's kind of where the cigar was born. I guess the natives called them, they were smoking Cohiba. Not the exact pronunciation, but pretty cool considering there's a very popular good brand called Cohibas. So, never knew where that name came from, but now you do, and so do I. And obviously the natives, you know, they did it for spiritual reasons and whatnot. So yeah, Columbus decided to bring it back, and that's really when, you know, it started, and he went back to Spain, and then it kind of went to Italy, and then it started, you know, going up around Europe, and then eventually ended in Britain. And that's kind of the origin story, I guess, for modern cigars, which is pretty cool. Which I didn't know exactly. And then a couple other interesting facts. In 2000, there was a recorded 6.2 billion cigar smokers, which is quite a bit. And that rose to a record 13.8 billion in 2012. And it has dropped down to closer to 11 billion now. And I assume that's because with this new generation, there's kind of a health craze. You know, everybody wants to try to be healthy and get rid of all the bad stuff out of their lives, which is good. But for me, I try to be healthy, but I'm still going to enjoy a nice cigar. And also the phrase close but no cigar was actually came from old fair games, you know, fairground festivals, you know, the circus kind of back in the day. I guess you could prizes were a cigar, and when you were close, but you didn't accomplish the game, that's when the vendor would say close, but no cigar, which was cool, and I didn't know that, so it was pretty interesting looking up the facts of cigars and the origin story, you know, because I've been smoking them for a long time, but didn't really know, I guess, the history about them too much. So, and if you guys like this sort of content video research, let me know, and I can maybe drop another video that goes more in depth about some more cool facts and, you know, I guess cigars, the storyline of cigars. So let me know. But then I also wanted to talk about in this video, I guess, kind of what cigar smoking and cigars in general mean to you. You know, because throughout my research, definitely, you know, once they started making their way around Europe, the cigar really became a status symbol for you were an elite of old European society. You know, and it's pretty evident from that. We look back at historical figures, you know, Winston Churchill, Castro, you know, even going further back, there was quite a bit of kings and royalty of that nature who really took to cigars, and that kind of made them almost a status symbol of that era. Which I definitely agree with in somewhat, you know. At least for me, when I smoke a cigar, it definitely is not like, you know, one of those things to where I have an iPhone or I drive a Mercedes, so I'm better than you. You just kind of feel a little bit, you know, distinguished, I guess. You know, when you have one of these in your hand, it kind of draws a presence and makes you have that certain look for some reason. I don't know what it is. I guess just the kind of the magic of cigars. You know, but for me, I just really enjoy the fact that you just kind of can come home, relax, grab a stove, and just have a nice slow burn, and, you know, puff on it for an hour or so, whatever. And I like that, you know, obviously compared to cigarettes, they're just pure tobacco. So, in my opinion, a lot more healthier because they're not filled with all that crap that cigarettes are. Or even vapes or, you know, what have you. It's just pure tobacco. And it just does make you, you know, you have that kind of whole vibe and experience with cigars. You know, they have cigar lounges and, you know, you go to your buddy's house, you know, sitting on the back deck, and you guys are all chatting it up with a bunch of stogies in your hands, possibly sipping some good whiskey if that's your thing as well. You know, it's just kind of, cigars bring an ambiance within themselves, which is kind of special for, you know, because not a lot of things do that, especially now in today's society. So, and it's the whole, you know, kind of finding out what you like about cigars too. Whether it's what kind of body you like, what kind of wrapper you like, your flavor profile. Maybe if you get down real specifically and you only like certain countries from where their tobacco comes from. Are you a guy who tries to only get Cubans? You know, the way to store them, the way to light them, cut them. There's so many different little aspects of cigars that kind of make it a hobby. You know, compared to just like lighting up a cigarette or something like that. There's just so much more detail when it comes to a cigar. And they're fun to talk about. They're fun to discuss. It's not even just the smoking, you know, it's the smelling, the storing of them. You know, the look, the size. So many different factors go into cigars. that for me personally, I just really enjoy. So yeah, guys, I really would like to for you to leave a comment below and tell me your experience with cigars and kind of what they mean to you and just anything that you can think of. I'll be interested to see what you have to say, if you agree with anything that I say, and just kind of really get everybody's opinion of cigars. Please let me know if you like this video, this kind of style of video. It was kind of fun for me looking at the facts of cigars, looking at the history of them, and there was a lot more that I didn't go over. I just kind of wanted to keep this video short and sweet, kind of a little intro to the channel, I guess. So, if you can, definitely drop a comment. I would appreciate it. Subscribe, because we're going to be trying to build that community here. And thanks for watching. Stick around for the next one.